Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Let's have a look at a daily challenge problem, that is problem 387, first unique character in a string. So in this video, we're going to provide three different formats of solutions based on slightly different considerations. So this video is meant to practice the dictionary data structure or the index method for a string. So first, let's look at the statement of the problem. So given a string S, find the first non-repeating character in it and return its index. If it does not exist, return -1. So here are three examples. So in example 1 and 2, the return is 0 and 2 respectively, because the first letter L in Lettcode appears only once, the index is 0. And the V in the second example appears only once, and its index is 2. In example 3, so the two letters appear both twice respectively, so the return is -1. So before we do the analysis, let's look at the constraints. First, S is not empty, and its length can be up to 10 to the power 5. So 10 to the power 5 is actually a decent large number. And secondly, S consists of only lowercase English letters. So with that said, let's look at the method. So we are going to use some sort of frequency counting or basic practice of dictionary and data structure. So the idea is actually very simple. So as we need to determine the first non-repeating character in the string, so we need to do linear traversal. So then we have two options to get the desired result. So option 1 is that for each unique character in S, we find the indices for it. If the corresponding indices length is 1, then it's a non-repeating character. So we just need to prepare the return. And another option is that so we do the frequency count first, and then iterate again over S to return the first occurrence of an index with character frequency being 1. So based on the first two options, actually we have another option, option 3. So we can actually use the index method for string to check the first and the last occurrence of a letter in the string S. So here is the idea. So if S equals BACCB, so the first occurrence of A in S is 1. And then if we use the reverse to check the index, so it's equals 3. Right, so if the character appears only once in the string S, so the two indices actually add up to length S minus 1. So this is the criterion to check the non-repeating character in a string. So here the plan is the following. We're going to implement the two options above, and then also practice the index method. So actually, there are a number of other ways to write a solution for this easy problem. So it's good to have a try. So with that said, let's implement this methods. So first, I'm going to use the unique character and their indices list. So this basically we practice the dictionary abstract data structure. So for this, I'm going to initialize a dictionary variable. Initially it's empty. Then we're going to iterate over the S. So for I character in enumerate S. So then we check if character not in dictionary. Then we're going to make this character with a value corresponding to a single element, that is the index I, right? So otherwise, so we're going to append the current index I to the list. So this way we finished prepare the dictionary. So next we prepare the return. So in order to prepare the return, let me first use some filter. Let's call this auxiliary list. So we're going to use list comprehension. So V naught, so for V in dict values. So if length V equals 1, so this actually corresponding to the indices list is length 1, meaning that the corresponding character appears only once. So we find this index, right? So here, before we do the return, we can check if aux list, if it's empty, right? So if not list, so we're going to return -1 based on the requirement for this problem. Then we can directly return the minimal index in the auxiliary list. So actually, you do not need to write the else, but let me write the else for clarity. So we're going to return min of aux list. So this is our first solution format. Let's do a special case check. Solution has no, let's change this function signature to be the correct one. Then, yeah, it passes the first example. So now let's do a generic case check. Yeah, it passes the generic case. So now let's write the second format. Let's copy this functional signature. And then I'll change this one to be v1. So now for this version, so we're going to use a counter. So the counter actually is a subclass of the dictionary class in Python. So for this, we first get the corresponding frequencies. So let's call it count collections counter. So we are going to count the letters and their frequency in S. So we use this constructor. So now after we get this, basically it's an iteration. So for I and a character in enumerate S, we use this enumerate function because we are want to return the corresponding index. So then we're going to check if character has a frequency equals 1, right? If so, we're going to return the corresponding index. Otherwise, after the for loop, we're going to return -1. So now I guess that's the full solution using the second format. So let's do a special case check. String index must be integers. So let's see. So here count. So let me write character and count. So yeah, it passes the first example. So now let's do a generic case check. Yeah, it passes all the generic cases. So let's regard this one as the second solution format. So next we want to practice the index method for a string. So practice of S index method. So basically the idea is to check the first occurrence and the last occurrence of a letter in S, and then check should be the same, right? So let's write a format following this option 3 here. So now what we are going to do is that let me first make a variable called reverse. So this is just for convenience. It's not absolutely necessary. And then we actually iterate for I in range. Now let's write character. So for character, so this way actually demonstrates the essence of this method. For character in S, so what we are going to do is that we check S index of the character, and then check the reverse of index of this character, and then we check if it equals length S -1. So if this is the case, we're going to return the index. Let's see. So we can write it like this. And we can also introduce a variable called n, just to make it more modularized. So we have a reverse, we have the length, then we iterate over S, so we get the first occurrence of the character, right, in S, and then we check this criterion to see if it equals n-1. If so, we're going to return the index. Otherwise, after the for loop, if nothing is returned, we're going to return -1. So that's the third solution format. So basically practicing the index method. So let's do a special case check. Yeah, it passes a special case. So now let's do a generic case check. Yeah, it passes all the cases. I guess that's about the three different solution formats based on slightly different considerations. So you're welcome to try other methods or follow other practices in my channel. Thank you very much.